PR Connections Radio presents. This episode of the Sunday Morning Chat Series is brought to you by Classy Communications PR and Advertising. Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and non-profit organizations. They can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications is your solution for business success.
Hello there, and welcome to the Sunday Morning Chat Series with Jesse Oakley III. Now, the purpose of the Sunday Morning Chat Series is for yours truly to interview a plethora of positive people that are making big differences in the community. Whether they're speakers, authors, writers, business people, athletes, singers, entertainers, you'll hear from them first right here on the Sunday Morning Chat Series. And today we have ourselves a wonderful episode for you, the happy people. Now, many of you know that I belong to a wonderful organization called Toastmasters. And the cool part about Toastmasters is you get to meet some amazing people, some amazing speakers, leaders, and anyone else that's doing something amazing for the community. So with that being said, you're in for a real treat because I get to enjoy and interview a lovely lady right here. Actually, she is living over in Georgia, but nevertheless, she is a distinguished Toastmaster and a past region advisor. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Miss Cindy Cannon. Cindy, how's it going?
It's going great. Hi. I'm glad to be on the show. Thank you for having me.
All right. It's great to have you here. And with that being said, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Without any further delay, let's chat. Now, many of us have gone through our experiences within Toastmasters, and we always had that start within Toastmasters, that day one. The day one for me started off 31 years ago through Speechcraft. What was your day one in Toastmasters?
That was a very funny day because it was 1999. And when I came in 1999, the first person I met was past district director, governor at the time, Steve Williams. He was the very first Toastmaster I met. I was being hypnotized because I was in pain, and my hypnotherapist used to be a Toastmaster and said, you need to learn how to relax. You need to go to Toastmasters. And I thought, I don't drink, is what I thought, like everybody else. And she said, because I was from Philadelphia, I talked very quick. And here I am sitting in the South. And she told me that I would learn how to be a presenter and how to tell my story because I had multiple surgeries and was very sick. And I wanted to get free of pain. So I was interviewing people to find out how. And at the same time, she thought if I came to Toastmasters that I would learn how to speak to people, how to ask the questions, almost like an interviewer. And when I came, I didn't know it was a conference. And I went to the conference and I was like a little kid eating chocolate because it had a stage, it had professional speakers. I wanted to be Tom Hopkins, the motivational speaker in sales back then, or Tony Robbins. And I had no idea that Toastmasters was about speaking because she didn't tell me. I met David Caraway as the next person who, as we know, past district governor, long time ago, probably one of the first district governors, I think, of the district. At any rate, he was a member for 50 years, and he was so happy to share his journey. I thought it was like a cult when I first came, and I was smiling at the people on stage. I was so excited, but I wanted no one to know who I was. I was a very successful sales rep at Management Recruiters at the time, and a recruiter. And so because I was recruiting, I talked very fast. I still do. I'm from Philadelphia, and I'm just constantly talking. And I never shut up ever. And so I thought here I could come and watch all these speakers, and they're on stage, and I was in awe. I sat there with my mouth open the whole time, and I was so excited. And then it kept going on with competitions and everything else. And then I decided that I wanted no one to know me. And then someone said to me, you need to be a leader. And of course, I have an ego being a sales rep and a recruiter. And I said, I am a leader. And they said, no, you need to be a leader for Toastmasters. I had no idea what it meant. So I asked, and the rest is history. And my campaign was, everybody knows Cindy Cannon. And I wanted no one to know me.
Oh,
and they still know me.
Oh my goodness. Everybody knows Cindy Cannon. I have a great fortunate chance to meet you, and you're truly the amazing individual. And I will say this, Cindy, being a person from Virginia myself, I have a habit of speaking fast myself too. So I can definitely relate to you in that same boat, in that same vessel. Now, the next question I do have for you is, we all have our things that we're doing within Toastmasters. As a distinguished Toastmaster and a past region advisor, what are you doing for Toastmasters right now that's benefiting this wonderful community?
Being a Toastmaster. I show up to the meetings, and I'm in Sugar Hill Toastmasters in Sugar Hill, Georgia, and it is a very good club. There are very good people in there. That there are some past leaders in there, and it's funny because everybody's been underneath me at some point, so it's fun to watch them grow up. I let them have the meeting, be in the meeting. They'll look at me sometimes and say, is this right? And I try to mentor, and I bring guests to the meeting. I try to be that example of what a good Toastmaster is. So I come to a meeting with a guest. Mm-hmm. I'll bring people from my work. I'll bring people out in the world and have them come in. I'll let them run the club without me being a past know-it-all, okay? And I just go with the flow, but I do every role when I come in. I could be the timer, I could be the all counter, or I'm going to be the general evaluator. And I do it as a training session. And I will say, this is a training session because I've been doing this since 1999. Okay. And it works really well, but I try to mentor. I try to be there if they need me. And I definitely sell Toastmasters nonstop.
All right. That's truly fantastic. And that's the thing about Toastmasters is it doesn't matter if you're a past this or a past that or distinguish this or distinguish that. Deep down in that common denominator, we're all Toastmasters at heart. And that is a true thing about working with Toastmasters is you can have all the accolades that you can, but as long as you're a Toastmaster at heart, that's the thing that counts.
I agree with that.
Exactly. Now, we all have our challenges within our journey within Toastmasters. You've been a part of Toastmasters since 1999, and I've been a part of Toastmasters, well, Speechcraft 95, but overall Toastmasters in 2002. And we always have our challenges that we're able to overcome. Now, what has been the best challenge that you're able to overcome within your journey in Toastmasters?
Well, on the Toastmaster side, I love it so much. And being a recruiter, I thought I could open up new clubs. So I opened up 93 corporate clubs and 1 community club with my team. That was a lot of fun. And that was before 2021. And the fun part was getting to know the companies, and making it happen was like a stage presentation. And I always wanted to be an actress, and this was my chance to be an actress. But what was fun is the community and the team, because my team, when I was a district governor, was 5,000 people and 100 leaders. So the fun part for me was watching everybody grow up. The challenging part was when 2021 came and no one knew what was happening. Companies couldn't keep their Toastmaster clubs, and we lost so many clubs. It's a challenge, but I have found a way to get the managers and their teams to come to the community clubs and turn that around. And I have tried to do that. As a matter of fact, I almost worked for Dan Rex a long time ago. It was 14 years ago to be exact. I interviewed with Dan Rex because I wanted to create a position where I could open up clubs for Toastmasters International and get paid for it. Ooh. Since we're a nonprofit organization, but if I was on the board, I mean, in the office, I could be paid for it. So I interviewed with Dan Rex, and I interviewed with Dan Erling at my company. And between the two companies, the best choice, because I couldn't go to Colorado and I couldn't be there, was for me to go ahead and go with where I went. Okay. So I still have the Dan Boss because they both were named Dan, but I really wondered what that opportunity would have done for me, because I would have loved the opportunity to do that. I still every day talk to companies about Toastmasters, and I do a lot of lunch and learns and bring people there. And I just match it all up with, also, you're going to laugh at me, but I do Save the Horses and No Kill Shelter. So what I do is I bring the CFOs out to bond and shovel poop with their team. And what better place to learn how to speak together in a slight Toastmaster table topic session and be able to bring it back to their companies. And I try to do that so that they may not do a company club, but they will have their members, their employees, go to companies. And I try to do that. I hope I answered your question.
Hey, I believe that you did. And you definitely know how, when it comes to this type of opportunity, you know how to get your poop together. That is truly fantastic. And, I live here in Vegas, and I can tell you right now, sounds like you make a pair of Dans beat out a pair of Jacks.
That's exactly right.
When it comes to opportunities.
Yes. Dwight Jones will always say Cindy Cannon has something behind whatever she's doing. And it's true. I do.
It is definitely true. Definitely true. Now, we talked about the challenges to overcome. Now, you also had those best moments within Toastmasters. Now, what has been some of the best moments you experienced in your Toastmasters journey?
Well, besides the 94 clubs, because that really was a lot of fun to do. It was like putting on an event, and I love doing events and speaking events. Being ahead of the Speakers Bureau, both in District 14 and District 44. District 14 when it was huge, District 44 when it opened. On and off, I've been ahead of the Speakers Bureau. I love putting events on and seeing us as Toastmasters coming out and being able to tell our story, because everybody has a story. And there's nothing better when someone learns how to say it and to overcome themselves. For example, I have a Toastmaster, and I won't say his name because he's going through this right now, but he's diabetic. And he lost his leg. Now, while he was a Toastmaster, he was diabetic and sick, but he'd go to the meetings when he could. He did his best to tell stories, but he was insecure in speaking. Now, even though he lost his foot and his leg, and I love him to death, and I hope he doesn't mind me sharing his story, but he's able to go out there now, and he's back in Toastmasters where he's practicing, but he has a bionic leg and a foot. And he gets to tell that story, how he doesn't have to be in a wheelchair anymore, and how he did and accomplished being able to walk with his bionic leg and foot within 3 months of having it happen. This is all brand new. This just happened. And I've been sharing with him things that he could do, reminding him of his Toastmaster stuff until he could go to a meeting again. What Toastmasters will help him do, but he's taken what he's learned and he's going to go out there and tell a story so that someone else that's diabetic, that's going to lose their leg. Listen, you could tell him a Toastmaster, Ghana. Okay, I'm glad there's not a grammarian here. That is going to tell him, he's able to tell them how to live their life to the fullest and not be depressed and suicidal because of this. That is a proud moment for me, because I was able to help him in his journey, but I couldn't do that without all the people that helped me and inspired me, including you. You don't know how you inspired me, even though you're 3 hours away in a different time zone. I've been watching you for all these years and everything that you've done, and you and your wife have been so inspirational, and you've just really make you want to take the next step. And I'm thankful for that. So I want to say that to you and make sure you realize that.
Oh my goodness, that's truly remarkable, and thank you very much, Cindy, for the compliment and everything else. And in addition, to hear about that story about the best moments that are out there, because we all have our best moments, and I'm almost blushing right now. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I mean it too. It's from my heart. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. And the next question I will share with you is, let's say that you're at an event. Let's say that you're at a district conference, and you meet plenty of Toastmasters at this conference, and there's this one young up-and-coming Toastmaster, someone who's freshly new, and they heard about you, they know Cindy, and they're like, Cindy, they basically tell you, Cindy, I've heard about you, and I heard about the amazing things that you've done, and you have quite the legacy within your organization, within Toastmasters. You are one of those well-known people in this wonderful district, and I am inspired by you. I think you're amazing. I think you're fantastic, and I think you're awesome, and I want to be just like you. I want to have your journey, and I want to be where you are, and I want to be in your shoes. If an up-and-coming Toastmaster told you that, what advice would you give that newly minted Toastmaster who wants to be in your shoes?
Well, that's a great question. And that's why I love Toastmasters, because Toastmasters makes you feel so good for the things that you've done, right? You don't hear that when you go to work, that I'm so glad you're a manager and I'm so glad you did this and we're proud of you. You don't hear that as much in life. And I love Toastmasters because you are working but you're playing at the same time. And this is the advice that I would give to this Toastmaster. And I give this advice for anything or anyone that would ask me, what is your advice on how you do or what you like or where you go or having the most or having anything in life you want? It's all the same advice. Show up.
Yep.
Bottom line, if you show up, something can happen. But if you don't show up, nothing can happen, right? It's that simple.
That is definitely true. To show up, and that show up reminds me of something that Jim Morrison used to say. And what Jim Morrison used to say is, there's an known and there's an unknown, and the both between the unknown and known are the doors. So you never know unless you go in through that door or what's going to happen. And the key thing about that door, whether it's open or closed, is showing up in front of the door. That way you know. And hence that's how Jim Morrison got the name The Doors.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's a great story. I have heard that before, and it is true. And if you don't show up, nothing can happen. You can't have the experience that you have. And if you told me I was going to have this experience of Toastmasters when I first heard about it, I probably wouldn't have showed up because I would have been scared to death. Okay. But when I came, I was in awe. I mean, I sat there with my mouth open. I was sure a fly was going to go in there because I was just, this is what they do. They stand on stage. Oh my goodness. They're talking about this. And I was listening to Tony Robbins, Tom Hopkins, Zig Ziglar. And I thought, oh my goodness, I could really, instead of an actress, I want to go ahead and come here and I could do both roles. And that's what I did. And still do.
I tell you what, and that is truly amazing. I believe that if someone out there may correct me, but I believe that Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglar, they got the Toastmaster Communication and Leadership Award from World
Yes,
Headquarters.
they did.
Yeah, so I believe they did have that. So it is truly fantastic to actually refer to Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, and amazing speakers from the past or even from the present too. Now, let's go right into the next question. The next question I do have for you is, let's say that someone out there is watching this episode and they want to know more about Toastmasters. They want to have their journey and their start with this organization, whether it is through leading or speaking. Where could one go to know more about this wonderful organization of Toastmasters?
Well, that's a great question. You could go to any chat, and ask the question because you'll get everything you want right there. That's the easiest way right now. But Toastmasters.org is where you go, www.toastmasters.org, and it will tell you everything that you need to know. But what I suggest that you do is have a zip code of where you live or close to where you work, whichever one you want to be close to, right, and put your zip code in and find out two things. Where is the closest club that meets in person? Because our organization has changed and there's not as many in person. But I think that if you could go in person, it'll change your life. True. I think also online, it will change your life. But before 2021, we never met online and it was a different world. And now we're in a different world. As a matter of fact, as I decide whether putting an event on online or in a building, I'd rather be in a building. but you get more people when you're online. And we had to learn how to do it online as Toastmasters because we didn't know how to do it. And now we're very successful. So there are many chapters out there. And what I love about Toastmasters is I could go someplace close to home, or I'm in Georgia and you're in Las Vegas, correct?
That is correct.
So I could come to Las Vegas and go to your chapters and watch you anytime I want. But I also could go to Africa. I can go to England. And that's the neatest part because it is international. And there's not a right or wrong answer. I just think that you should visit multiple clubs before you join. And you should join a chapter, whether you want to or not, because you can't gain the knowledge and all the encouragement and all the things that you get out of it. You cannot get that education without being a member and consistent. And it's consistent. You know, they have chapters that are weekly. You didn't ask me this, but they have chapters that are weekly or bi-weekly or even once a month. Right. I think you should go weekly. Bi-weekly is very good for people that are very busy. I'm very busy, and it's very easy to say you're very busy, but you could do what you want to do. And we do what we want to do, just like we eat what we want to eat, right? And so if you want to become a better speaker or a leader or presenter, just polish up what you're already doing, because I'm sure you're doing it well, then you need to show up, and then you need to be consistent. Whether you want to or not, it doesn't matter. But what you'll find is that you will become one of them. And when you become one of them, you become one of us. And then you're out there and you're doing a podcast, right?
That is true. That is definitely true. And you never know unless you show up and go through that door of opportunity. And that is very big. And what better way to go through the door of opportunity than going to Toastmasters website at toastmasters.org and then typing up your zip code and find a club. Or whether you're here in the United States or whether you're all the way across the world in Asia or in Africa or in Australia or in Europe or in anywhere, South America, anywhere you can think of in the world, that is truly an opportunity for you to open the door and check out the Toastmasters experience for yourself. Now another question I do have for you is, this portion is the shout out portion of our episode. And there are so many people that one would like to thank within the shout out portion. If you have an opportunity to thank as many people as you can, Cindy, who would you like to give a shout out to?
Well, unfortunately, the biggest group of people that I want to give a shout out to are some close friends that have died. And I would like to shout out to Kathleen Bigeman, who died a couple of years ago, and Jay Hickson. And I can't even name all the people, and David Caraway, because they were all mentors to me. They all made it for me and helped me. What I'd like to give a shout out to is all District 14 and District 44, because they really set up the foundation way back when it was District 14, and we got so big that we had to split to District 44. There are so many leaders that came up underneath me and my team that I'm just so proud of everyone and love to see that. So I think that I would like to say a shout out to District 14 and District 44, and then to Toastmasters International for giving us the opportunity to keep going and to keep growing. And then now, as we change our Toastmasters, we're changing with the times because the times are changing. It's not a bad thing. It's just a different thing. And we just have to be able to go with the flow and learn how to adjust and move. And that's what Toastmasters teaches you. You get to meet so many people. And, you know, you're a legend to me, like I said, because I hear your name all the time and the things that you've done and what your wife has done, and that you come as a team. That is awesome. I've been married 40 years, and my husband will not he walked into one Toastmaster meeting so he could say he went, but he doesn't need that presentation style, so he says, but he really enjoyed going when he went. And I did get him to go to parties, and he will show up at a party every once in a while. But to be able to have your spouse and Toastmaster or relative, or if you have children, it's a huge deal. I recommend it because it's something you could do as a family.
It definitely is a huge deal. As a matter of fact, married to a Toastmaster, And we had a wedding July 1st when I became district governor. And then the evaluator for that wedding was my mother-in-law, who was also a Toastmaster.
Oh, no. Yeah.
So I got a honeymoon and an evaluation at the same time.
That is funny. Yeah.
Oh my! I'll tell you what, that's truly remarkable, and amazing people that you've mentioned, amazing community with District 14 and 44 down in beautiful, the lovely state of Georgia. And I like to say, hi, Georgia Toastmasters, and I'll definitely will say that. Now, one more question I do have for you, and this question is for the people that watch this podcast. They are my crew. They're called the Happy People, and they always love it when the guests I do have give a final word of wisdom. So if you have a chance to give one more wise words of wisdom to my crew, the Happy People, what would it be?
I would still say thank you to your crew for showing up, because they show up to do this. And I know that I already said it, but it's showing up, because nothing can happen if you don't show up. You have to be there in the moment. And my statement at turning 68 years old and overcoming the 19 surgeries, the 4 autoimmune systems, the 2 near-death experiences, losing my teeth and having to learn how to speak again, I'm still standing. But I'm standing because Toastmasters International helped me by going to the meetings and being my support team, helped me go through it. No one judged me. No one said a word. Do you know, I lost all my teeth during COVID, so it was the best time for me because everybody was wearing a mask. Who gets to say they lost their teeth, but everybody else is wearing a mask? No one knew that I lost my teeth, except I have a big mouth and told everyone. And I made speeches about it. You have to have a sense of humor. And the last thing I'll say is, if it wasn't for Toastmasters, when I sneezed one day at Lifetime, I didn't know you could sneeze underwater. I swim every day at 4:30 in the morning, and I didn't know you could sneeze underwater. I've been swimming since I was 6 years old. I actually sneezed when I came up for air, and my teeth came flying out of my mouth. Wow. Now, if it wasn't for Toastmasters, I would not know what to say, because everybody in the pool turned the other way like they were dogs and didn't see it. And I'm laughing hysterically. And then I said, oh, wait, my teeth, they're going down the drain. And I had to grab them, throw them in my mouth, and then ended up with blisters all over my face, because chlorine is, causes problems. And I have gum disease as well, unfortunately, from the stomach surgeries. And when I say you have to have a sense of humor, you have to have a sense of humor. Toastmasters International helped me get through that moment that I never would have gotten through if I didn't know how to handle myself in public. So I thank Toastmasters and all the leaders and everybody that was there with me. And my one piece of advice for everybody is to show up, go to a meeting, go to a different meeting than you normally go to, show up at different places and give back.
And Cindy, that is a perfect bookend to a wonderful episode of the Sunday Morning Chat series with Jesse Oakley III. And on behalf of all the happy people that are watching this, I take this time to say thank you for being a part of the Sunday Morning Chat series with Jesse Oakley III. Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, and this concludes the episode of the Sunday Morning Chat series. For more information on PR Connections, you can go to prconnectionsradio.com. But wait, there's more. If you want to check out a plethora of podcasts that are under the PR Connections brand, go to YouTube and type up the words PR Connections, and you'll see a plethora of podcasts, including this one, the Sunday Morning Chat series. But wait, there's also more. For more episodes of the Sunday Morning Chat series, go to YouTube again and then type up Sunday Morning Chat series, and you'll see the page of Sunday Morning Chat series with my beautiful face. And also, you get a chance to experience interviews I've done from plethora of positive people that are making big difference in the community. You'll see episodes from 2020, 2021, 2024, 2025, and right here in 2026. That's right, 5 years of the Sunday Morning Chat series interviews that is waiting for you. Just feel free to subscribe to the page, comment, like, and share, and just have some good fun with the people I've interviewed in the past. Now, on behalf of Cindy Cannon and myself, this is Jesse Oakley III signing off, and stay tuned for our next episode of the Sunday Morning Chat series, which will take place next Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And for everybody out there, you take care of yourselves and always, always, always have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
The Cause Marketing Chamber of Commerce brings businesses and nonprofit organizations together to create synergistic relationships that benefit the community. Join our tribe to network with community and business partners, increase sales, improve fundraising efforts, differentiate your brand, help worthy nonprofits, and more. Become a member today. Visit our website, causemarketingchamber.com, to see how we can help you grow your business or your nonprofit organization. Click on the Join Now button at causemarketingchamber.com. Help us build a world where social responsibility is the new bottom line. PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.